No.
I said the music's beginning to end.
No.
And you can tell by the way I'm speaking slightly clearer that the stream has started.
No.
Yes.
I think you're talking nonsense.
Nonsense? Well,
Sounds fake.
that's not unusual.
Sounds fake.
It's just my streams, wow. My streams, for some reason, are the only ones the bear has glitched.
But
by
also
has,
not?
I mean has as in the possessive, not as in the past tense. Doing... Bear has not glitched them. Bear has them and they are glitched.
Bear did this.
Impressive.
Nothing if not technically impressive. Which I think means I'm nothing.
You gave him a 1? He's never been better.
I mean, something being technically impressive is not always a good thing. I've done enough troubleshooting with students to have many stories where I'm just sitting there going, I have no idea what you fucking did.
Hell yeah, Bear. Same.
Hang on a minute. Oh.
Huh?
Well, there's a new and interesting development. Apparently, if you hit the end key on your keyboard while in Magma, it centers and expands the canvas to 100%, which at the moment means that everything's off screen. But
oh,
okay.
Interesting.
Fascinating.
Fascinating. I meant to press delete, and the button next to delete is end.
Interesting.
So interesting.
So interesting.
So how we all doing, apart from Sleepy?
You be sleepy.
You be Sleepy.
Why so much sleepy?
Much of the sleeves. Just Sleepy. Well, this may be a short stream then.
We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know what to draw. I have anything
What you gonna draw?
I don't know. Oh yeah, that's something. Let's do that. I need a reference.
That's something.
I mean, you could always take the list of random doodle ideas that you had somewhere. I don't know if you were keeping it up to date. You could just
Excellent
always
point.
randomly pull one of those.
Excellent point. I forgot that existed.
Okay, well that tells me you haven't been
was
keeping it
a
up to
lot.
date if you forgot about it, but it did exist.
I mean,
It did.
especially because you did so much, Bear.
You did a lot better.
You know? You did almost an entire bingo chart and then some.
You made a separate bingo chart.
For your
and
bingo
achieved
charts.
all of it. Plus more. And an extra area below the bingo to do additional bingos.
Bingos upon bingos.
I did part of 2 bingo squares.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's a yearly bingo. I'd be concerned if you'd done more.
Yeah, but if I carry on at that rate, I'm gonna get at least 3 squares by the end of the year.
You know, it's only been a month, right?
Yeah, it's barely February, Chris.
But it's February.
It's barely February.
Like, I didn't bother doing any sort of bingo type thing, because right now my goal for this semester in the summer is to survive taking 2 classes while teaching.
Yeah. That can be your entire bingo square. Just one big square.
Yeah.
And maybe next year, when I can dial it down to just 1 course at a time, or essentially 1 course at a time, then I can think about what else do I want to do. 'Cause there are things that I'd like to do.
Bing.
Things? You mean bings?
Boo.
Like, I have a huge backlog of RPG games, some of which being ye old RPG games that I want to show people.
Ooh.
But, like,
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
I got a paper to write. So,
Yeah, those things happen. Hell
Everything.
yeah, look at that 2025 bingo. Look at those little crosses.
No crosses.
Look at all those dang crosses.
oh, okay. I read the one thing is like purchase file and start compiling recipes. For some reason, my brain thought that meant like mail file, and I was like, what?
Recipes
How
for
is-
sculpture from Chib. Get them from Chib. I would argue that marmalade is a jam. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, is that
It's
not
a
what the
very-
soup was for?
a very similar process, and you use it in similar ways. And also, if it actually set this time instead of being citrus soup.
Yeah, you held the jar sideways and it wasn't soup, so therefore it counts. I think that's how you measure jam.
Classic jam measurement.
Classic jam measurement. If you hold the jar sideways, you can either hold its shape and it's jam, or it doesn't and it's soup.
That or it's fruit topping.
Posing.
You're doing posing on this stream.
Well, it's just trying to.
I'm just messing with yeah.
Messing with myself. We're all go away, AI. Boo, AI. I'm looking for poses. With actual humans, please. Andre Ryu, why are you here?
Why not?
Nothing I typed in is indicative of anything to do with Andre Ryu. And yet he cropped up.
Why not again?
If only
People are
I
using some weird ass
knew.
keywords. Yeah, slop as far as the eye can see. Yeah, it's I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna just go to a thrift bookstore and buy a bunch of books that were published in the 80s. And maybe then I'll find something useful.
Okay, I'm gonna do my normal thing. I did find there's something on Tumblr. I don't know of the efficacy of this. But apparently, if you want to use Google for some reason, and you don't want the AI summary at the top, Just swear in the search. It just won't. It will just refuse to make an AI summary if you swear in the search.
I want the fucking pose.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, don't know the efficacy, but it stuck in my brain, made me laugh. Okay, I've done my 5-pixel thumbnail. It helped.
Mm.
Well, I just did it and there wasn't an AI thing with it, but also it didn't. It gave me relevant things. The thing I typed in, it just wouldn't be helpful for the thing minus the swear word. Though I've apparently learned that Love Sex Machine apparently wrote a song called "Fucking Snakes."
Nice.
Well, we've all learned something today.
Hell yeah.
Because the first like 3 things that have popped up are Bandcamp, Spotify, and YouTube links to the song "Fucking Snakes" by Love Sex Machine. Released in April of 2024. Oh, so that's one data point. Though I will point out it might be a little dangerous to put fucking as your swear word, especially if you're looking up actually much of anything, really.
Yeah, it's the internet.
Like, you will find kink spaces that you were not aware of.
Hmm.
You being interested in are you interested in making a not safe for work website? Then go to kingspace.com. This stream is sponsored by Kingspace. I don't know why. They really messed up in their talent search. Yeah, if you're looking, yeah. Probably better ways to get references for sheep.
What do you draw?
What to draw? Kofi is telling me that they now offer 100% discounts.
What?
I don't know.
What?
For more information, go to kingspace.net.
That's interesting. Well, because, like, I can,
Ben has a
for
suggestion.
bookkeeping purposes, I can see why a website where it's like you're selling products, people would allow you to give a 100% discount on a customer. Because then it's like, okay, I'm not charging you for this, but I'd like to keep records of this transaction. But coffee's mostly for, like, tips.
I think that they're trying to branch out into having things to sell as well. Like, part of one of my things to do this year, or this month I should say, is to set up my commissions on them, so that people have a sort of established place to go, if they so choose, because they have a whole commission system. But also, if you're doing commissions at 100% discount, you just draw in for a favour. Like, you don't need Kofi for that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, if it was something where it's like we need to keep records of stuff. What stuff? I don't know. I'm not a small business owner. I teach. People walk into my room and I go, okay, cool, this is how you do statistics in Excel. The Meowna Lisa.
Yeah. That's my attempt at drawing a cat version of the Mona Lisa from memory.
Yeah, I think that's what a sheep looks like.
Sheep. Oh. Oh, and oh.
It's a very surprised sheep.
Sheep. Time to remember how the noses exist. Bloody calendars.
You've drawn too many of the calendar siblings.
Yeah.
Draw mugs casting pinup.
the Mog's bar top lounge.
I'll
That was pretty funny.
attempt. I don't know if I can draw mugs today, but let's see. Nope.
That was quick. It's not looking like a strong drawing day for me either. If it helps.
I mean, it's been a fine drawing day for me. It's just that I'm all out of juice now. I did the drawing already.
All out of draw juice.
Yep.
I haven't done none.
So
It's
now-
Now all I
some more
can
pencils.
draw is a fucking sheep.
a good sheep. And mood cat.
Classic. Okay, let's try again. Maybe just.
Can ignore you. Never, Bear. Never
I
ignore.
can't ignore bear. That's rude. Yeah. Maybe just keep it loose.
Yeah, what if
Like
all
mugs.
sheep... Or are monks in sheep's clothing?
No, that's a fucking sheep.
Which, of course, brings up the bizarre image of Moggs just in vaguely sheep-themed lingerie.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
My natural curiosity wants to know how that works, but also doesn't want to know the answer.
Yeah, you don't want to know the answer to that, Chris. Let's just leave it there.
Let's just say people get really creative / uncreative when it comes to sexy Halloween costumes. creative in the sense where it's like that sure is a thing you've chosen for a sexy costume theme. Uncreative in the sense that you look at it and go, that was a lazy go at it. Your curiosity wants to know, your sense of preservation doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, part of the reason why I know about the sexy Halloween costumes is there's a show I watch / listen to, What the Fuck is Wrong with You, and every Halloween they do what they call the Hollow Worst, where they look through some of the best of the worst of sexy Halloween costumes that are for sale. And it is always the caveat of, we are not judging you for wanting to be sexy. We are judging you on what you have decided constitutes sexy. And also sometimes judging the very poor execution of the sexy outfit, or just being really badly made. Quite sure how to draw everyone else in tiny form, so we're just gonna leave it like that.
That's fun, though. I'm a big fan of You Can Tell This Is Griff because there is a floating hat.
I mean, that's the easiest shorthand for I'm drawing tiny, how do I make it obvious which character this is? There is no head. Mog's, the facial features make it obvious, but it's like I'm not 100% sure how I do that well in chibi form, in this tiny chibi form, especially since eye is usually just a dot.
I mean, mugs in general is like surprisingly hard to draw. It's always a process of, oh, his features are just in the wrong place. He just has a mouth where his eyes should be, and he just has an eye where, you know, and the other way around. And then you think about it, and you're like, oh no. That's my experience with mugs.
Nope. Yeah, use that canvas.
The cat. I didn't realize it was drawing that big, and
Nah,
then
use it.
suddenly, whoops!
You got it.
It's here. It's Mog.
It's Mogs.
I mean, as if Mogs wouldn't take up as much room as physically possible.
True, for sure.
And or more room than should be physically possible.
Yeah.
He's doing that thing that cats and dogs do where you're just kind of like, you are like a fourth of the size of me. How are you taking up more space on the bed?
Exactly. It's what he deserves. Or thinks he deserves. One of the two.
Whether or not he deserves it, it's what he will demand. Or not even demand, just assume he has right to.
Mm-hmm. And he is correct.
Probably a good time to remind people that in Britain, Mogs is another word for cats.
I mean, that seems correct.
So it fits the bill. Although I have yet to see any promotional materials for Mogs 2019.
God, no.
There's a drawing prompt.
Absolutely not. That's not a drawing prompt, nor should it be. I don't want horrific CGI Mogs.
I feel like he would have fun in the costumes for the stage play, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's like, most of those costumes are just leotards. Cat leotard. He is having fun with that.
Yeah, it's jazzercise, but cats.
Mm-hmm. Some more fluff and then makeup. He's fine with that.
Now, which of the stage play outfits is most Mogs? Where's Miss? Let's get Miss in on this.
I mean, is Rum Tum Tugger the obvious answer?
I mean, obvious answers aren't necessarily bad answers.
Oh yeah, it's got this the low cut top.
Yeah, it's
tight
the
fitting.
Like he would definitely rock that.
Mogs would make an excellent Rum Tum Tugger. That's what I'm saying. Now, if he also would make a good Rum Tum Tugger in Cat 2019, I wouldn't be able to tell you, because I still never watched it, and I hope to never do it.
Well, when I googled Rum Tum Tugger, I did get a picture of the one from 2019, and It looks like they're missing. Looks like somebody shrunk the top of their head.
Yeah, that's part of the problem with the designs from the Cats 2019. Part of the
Yeah, the Cats 2019 all look bald.
well, that's because
they don't use
So-
wigs or anything.
yeah, like so if you look at a cat head, like face, a lot of them are it's a lot rounder than a human skull, or at least that's sort of the impression with the floof that a lot of them have.
Nightmare. Hello.
So yeah,
When
so
did
cats.
we ever agree?
It just happened, Lois.
Cats-
We can't stop it.
Yeah, Cats the stage play gets around that by making the
Being-
illusion of this face has the quote unquote more correct proportions by making them round. Cats 2019 just badly CGIs some ears on the top of the person's head while deleting the actual human ears, and it just. Uncanny Valley. Just the worst Uncanny Valley. What I'm saying is they probably should have hired a few furries for the CGI team.
Oh god, if they hired furries, that film would look completely different. Way better.
Yeah, better for sure, though. Like, different, yes, and better.
Those people put in the effort.
Mm-hmm. And they are correct to do so, honestly.
Yeah, good on them for doing whatever it is they do.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it's just, reenact the entirety of Disney's Robin Hood.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the catalyst moments for a lot of furries I know.
Yeah.
There were others, though.
Ship that launched 1,000 furries.
There
Well,
was, God,
face
there
them.
were so many movies around that time where it's like, these are anthropomorphic animals, and then also we're going to have a romantic subplot, which means we need to have at least two attractive-looking anthropomorphic animals. Because heaven forbid the romantic love interests not be conventionally attractive.
Of course.
Even as an animal.
And then, oops, all furries.
Yep. Should probably give you clothes to wear. That's probably a thing I should be doing.
Only on stream. Then rest, bear, rest. He says not resting.
Have you considered drawing monks
Yeah, do that.
as a resting exercise?
Zombieing through a commission.
No.
No.
You need to finish this commission.
Yeah, that sort of looks right.
That was cute.
I can never remember how to say its name, but it's a very simple design.
The other one? Nope, not that one.
I think it starts with a T. I just remember it's, even in English, it's really long, and you're like, what the heck?
Tiramisu. No, that's the one I just searched. I'm awake.
So awake.
It is, I can say unequivocally, not Pachirizi. I've checked twice.
I mean, if that wasn't correct the first time, it wouldn't be correct the second time.
Marmalade. Its name is Marmalade now. Bear is decreed.
Who is Marmalade?
Togedemaru. There we go.
Oh.
Togedemaru?
The roundest Pikachu.
Roundest Pikachu, yes. Which is why it's so easy to draw.
What if round? Speaking of round, hi Mogs. Wearing your sorcerer robe.
Classic sorcerer robes.
By robes, I mean robe. Those gorgeous.
Of course, I had to go to Bokopedia and then search through electric and then find its name. Oh,
That's
there's cute concept art.
Love me some
of
cute
it.
concept art.
Well, put it in the Discord to push away the horridness that is Cats 2019.
That's not no. Drag this. Joe and drag. Look at a little cutie.
Little round.
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 It's got spikes. There's supposed to be a hedgehog.
Yeah, it's hedgehoggy. It can roll itself up more into a ball, and then the little triangles on it pop out like little spikes.
No, cutie.
I just scrolled down to the name section, and apparently, unlike with a lot of them, they just left the name the same from Japanese into everything else.
Good for them. Too often they kowtow to international pressure to change name. I say nay.
I mean, to a certain extent, they sort of makes sense because the names are, for the most part, all puns. So it sort of makes sense to go, okay, what's going to be a pun that works better in this language? But for Togedemaru, they just kind of went, nah, deal with it.
I assume also Daramaka's probably one that's the same, right? It's just a pun on Daruma.
Wouldn't surprise me. I'm pretty sure
Because-
Pikachu is also one of the ones that they left.
But to be fair, that's an English pun, isn't it?
It is not. Yeah, it's Pikachu in Japanese, and they left it in Pikachu in English. And it's a pun on the sounds for the sounds that mice make and the sound of electricity. So they're like
Interesting.
onomatopoeia.
I thought it was based on the Pika, the animal, and that it sounded like to peek at you. As in like peekaboo.
Nope.
There you go.
So Chu is the or it's either Chu or Choo Choo. It might be Choo Choo because with a lot of cutesy sounds, they double them up in Japanese and Chinese onomatopoeias. Is the sound that a mouse makes. And Pika is the onomatopoeia for like electric sparks and whatnot. So it's literally a sparking mouse.
Well, there you go. I learned something new. Right. Well, that was my one idea. What do I do now?
Roll again.
Why was that your one idea?
Because when I was uploading a VOD, I accidentally wrote "Return to Moria" as "Return to Moira."
Oh, you'd make a perfect dwarf. Just Hell yeah.
You've moved your sheep next to your cat, and now it looks like the sheep's trying to wake the cat up. No, get up!
Or it's very surprised about seeing this cat.
There is a reason I almost never draw mocks from the front.
It's because you can't see the full volume of the lid.
Yeah, that's it.
It needs to be done.
Not at all, because his face is like fucking impossible from the front. That couldn't possibly be it.
You know, I just had a thought. Does he have a nose? Because
He
I don't
no.
know if I've seen you draw him with a nose, but then again, that's like not always something that I think about.
He does not have a nose.
No nose, honorary calendar.
Honorary calendar. Just showing up at October's door being like, hello, cousin.
October being very intimidating.
October wakes up and just sees this lying on his counter. The kitchen counter. First thing in the morning. He was making coffee. It just took a while.
He's waiting for it to percolate.
By the way, don't worry that the coffee grounds are everywhere now. That's fine.
Also, now that I've said percolate out loud in relation to Mogs, I feel like that's a dangerous thing to be saying around Mogs.
I just thought percolate. Like percolate with pecs. That's the level my brain's at today.
Hell yeah.
I'm trying to find if there are any doodle notes that I have written down. I have too many post-its.
Bear wants you to draw the October and Mock scenario.
I mean,
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like Cheeb has already half drawn this. No, we just need October, who's very confused.
how do you draw ears from that angle? I don't know.
Lord of Inez. Anything back angles? No, sir. I cannot. You cannot make me, and you'll never catch me alive.
I like the expression you'll never catch me alive. Because it doesn't specify who won't be alive.
Yeah,
Never catch
you'll
me
never
alive.
catch me alive.
Because all the time I'm alive you can't catch me, or you'll never catch me alive because if you try, I'm gonna kill you.
Could be both.
Ambiguous. I really did try and give Moira boobs, and yet it's still just not much there. I look up at Moggs and that's how you do it.
Listen, for the past week, all I've been drawing is tits. It's just been a mood. I don't know. I cannot tell you why.
It's just, sometimes you just gotta follow the mood. You gotta. This is your muse.
Exactly.
Follow the muse. The boob muse. Bemused.
You're doing okay.
On a short term or a long term?
Uh-huh.
Necromancy plot loophole twist ending? What? Who? Who's necromancy? Moggs wants to romance your neck, but other than that.
You know what, Bear? You're so right.
Kind is the interesting one.
Yeah, don't think too hard about it.
I try not to.
Good. Oh, for the never catch me alive thing.
Oh, right, yes. Never catch me alive. Dies. Everyone leaves. Revives. I'm a skeleton now.
Bet you never thought of this. You will not escape the law.
It's a very Macbeth thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like loophole in prophecy, kind of.
I mean, just in general, I think there's always something very fun about the technicality of prophecy.
Yeah. I think at this point, if you get a prophecy, you just have to sit there and go, right, where's the catch? It's in there somewhere.
It's in there somewhere. I'm gonna find it.
And there is a non-trivial possibility that the catch involves me working out what the catch is. Me
Yeah.
being too smart for my own good. That's probably going to be part of it.
I feel like in any world where like prophecies are like known and regular occurrence, there'd probably be like magical lawyers where their whole deal is to just go through the terms and conditions of prophecies and figure out what the heck's going on with them. How legally binding is this? Or magically legally binding, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you have to follow it? What will happen if you don't follow it? Just have to take your, like, whoever made the prophecy, take them to the lawyer, would you?
Yeah.
Like a fucking divorce settlement.
Yeah, Bear's on the same track. All I can think of is like attorney at law, and instead of law, it's lore.
Attorney at law.
And I feel like there would also be lawyers with like fey deals or whatnot. They're probably going to have to be separate lawyers because one is dealing with like, okay, you two are making some sort of deal. And the other one is like, cool, a soothsayer spoke this out of the ether. Let's pick this apart and figure out what's actually going on here.
I mean, to be fair, the people who are figuring out the, like, prophet things are probably the Fae. The Fae look at the prophecies and goes, now how can I twist that? I know what you said, But what did I hear?
Okay, then it gets taken to Fae Court.
Before you know it, you have a whole mess on your hands. You thought you were the chosen one, but instead you've been to court for who knows how long. Because the Fae do not measure time, but they are very invested in your prophecy.
What role?
Fae lawyer.
I'm just gonna draw Clover in a suit, you know that.
Clover would make a horrible lawyer.
I know. The goat, though.
The goat, excellent lawyer.
Yeah, you're assuming that Clover is the one who's the lawyer here. Clover is just the secretary. Clover just takes in, just goes, okay, here's what the job is, writes it down, hands it over to the goat. The goat then eats the job and then figures it out.
Oh yeah, Bear. As soon as you said Fae Attorney, my brain immediately went, okay, Ace Attorney game, but with the Fae. Even makes even less sense somehow.
I mean, I feel like even with quote-unquote Fae logic, there is still rules there. They're just like, instead of like, oh, we've got black and white morality, it's like the morality is orange and blue.
Yeah.
So like, there's a set of rules here. It's just sideways to what you're thinking.
Okay. Ace Attorney game. Where everything's Fae, but you're still Phoenix Wright.
I mean, you can't convince me that that's not already the case.
That's true. That might as well be happening.
This is a bad time to say that I'm pretty sure the crossover game between Ace Attorney and Professor Layton involves some manner of, like, dimension hopping.
That sounds right. It doesn't surprise me.
Also, yeah, Cresp is right. You can't convince me that there's not some weird Fae nonsense, considering, like I said, no spoilers for the context, but the bird is not going to be the only animal that's being brought into court.
Yeah, that's a big Fae thing, to just take an animal to court and treat it like it's a reliable witness.
I mean, it's taken this long for me to realize that actually a lot of the plot of the first Phoenix Wright game, at least, is literally Fae nonsense. Maya Fae.
True, also that.
Well, the other one,
there's
Mia.
that.
Yeah, Maya and Mia. I remember names.
Maya Mia.
And there will be more of the Fae clan. You're not done with them.
I did see Barry's playing one of the... I don't know which one of them, but did see on YouTube the thumbnail for that was a drawing he did of Maya in prison, so that's fun. Maya Mia, it's the one that's alive.
That's Maya? I say very uncertainly. I think Mia's the one that's dead.
Right. I hope that's the case. Because... Yes, okay, Maya's the one that's alive, which is good because that means that Mia is MIA.
Yeah. Chris, you
sense.
read my goddamn mind. I was about to make the same joke.
It's just
I
a
was
way of
about to
remembering.
be like, I think you can remember it by just thinking that Mia is missing in action.
Yeah.
And of course, now I'm sitting here
Come
going,
on,
is that
guys,
pun
no
on
heckling.
purpose?
I mean, I'm not even out here to tell jokes.
Honestly,
Have you
considering
ever
Ace
been?
Attorney, it just might be. I wouldn't put it above them.
I just had the, oh god, I didn't even notice this pun moment a couple weeks ago when I was listening to the first Discworld novel. Because the first time I read it, I didn't notice some of the puns because I was a small child. And then listened to it again, and it's like, hey, wait a minute. And now I'm having the same thing with Ace Attorney. Hey, wait a minute.
But you're drawing Clover like this. All my brain wants to think of is Ace Attorney, but you play as the goat. And Clover is just Maya. It's just saying whatever the fuck Maya's nonsense is on.
I feel like the other way around would also work. Playing as Clover, getting a whole bunch of nonsense, and then every so often it's like the characters, quote unquote, talking to the goat, and the player's just kind of like, why are you acting like the goat just gave you this inspirational speech? The goat is bleeding. The goat's not even bleeding. The goat is eating something. What?
It's like I'm so stuck. I don't know what the key to this case is. Cut to goat. You're right. Goat is the
goat
judge.
is the judge. No, the goat is way smarter than the judge, is the thing.
Too competent. Way too competent.
That's not a
The
high
goat
bar
is
to
Edgeworth.
clear. Like, being smarter than the judge is not a high bar to clear.
It is not.
And, like, I know why, like, game and storyline wise, why the judge is a fucking idiot, because it's supposed to be like, oh, you're figuring out the mystery.
Yeah.
But also, the judge is just a fucking idiot.
I mean, like, even as, like, a game where, like, oh, you're the one figuring out the mystery, it's just, like, the judge is so incompetent that it just becomes, like, who the fuck allowed you in here, sir?
I think it's nepotism.
Yeah.
It's the only
Think so, too.
explanation.
Legitimately, Edgeworth is probably the most competent person in the room.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
since everyone else is incredibly incompetent, that also brings some of his competency into question.
Yeah.
And because
Like,
everyone
you
else is so
willingly
incompetent,
surround yourself with these people?
and that also means since everyone else is so incompetent, that means a art school dropout who decided to become a lawyer can just go circles around them somehow.
How did he go to
By
art school?
like, he's essentially the dog playing chess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoenix Wright is a dog playing chess.
And winning. He eats the pieces. I think literally in one game. I guess we'll get to that. Occasionally have very out of context things spoil for me and I'm like, what? Why? Why does that happen?
See, and I feel like for this series that doesn't matter because it's not going to tell you what the heck's going on here.
No.
You're going to get to the event and it's still going to baffle you.
I mean, the idea that Maya will eventually, be a suspect in a thing is like, that's standard. If a murder mystery goes on long enough, one of the recurring characters will be a suspect eventually. Like, that's just normal.
Mhm.
That's arguably the most normal
And
spoiler you could give
Phoenix
me.
has already played the, oh, you are the quote-unquote suspect.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's
both of them were in that case. So yeah, it's like it's already happened once. It might as well happen again.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just so standard for every like murder mystery of like either the assistant is gonna get suspected or the detective themselves is gonna get suspected and the assistant has to like step up.
Yeah.
It's
They have to sort of solve it while the detective is like in a cell, and they have to do it vicariously. And it's a
exactly.
fun premise, fun way of shaking it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But also pretty standard, pretty typical.
Yeah.
I expect in
Also,
Phoenix Wright it'll turn out to be way weirder than that. That actually that is not Maya, it is a doppelganger.
It's actually a parrot dressed as Maya.
we really shouldn't joke about this. It could be true.
I know.
I have the dodgeball of prophecy occasionally come out of me when jokes are happening. So
I mean, again, it crosses over with Professor Layton, and one of the Layton games, one of the things is, oh, by the way, these people are all robots.
oh, fun.
Which, every time I play one of those games, I always sit there and go, what is the technology level in this world? I do not know. But the only thing I have figured out is, yes, technology is sort of advanced. Layton just likes driving a really old car.
Nice.
Good for Layton.
Yeah.
Because even if you go like, okay, cool, this is just a one-off thing, the robots are because these people are just like really weirdly advanced. No, they have landed on the moon in Professor Layton universe, so spaceships canonically exist. And he still drives that dinky old car. Let me see if I can get a picture of his car.
I mean, it might be set like, you know, sort of deep Eastern Europe or something. It's like in the 1960s. A lot of you know things we consider to be Western technology just hadn't trickled over there yet.
Mm-hmm.
US and Britain and so on and so forth were hoarding it all for themselves. And Eastern Europe were just like,
Or,
What I'm saying
yeah,
is,
and also
technology...
just like the Iron Curtain was very effective.
So technology is not a global modifier.
There we go. There's this car.
Yeah. It's this Brum's
That's
older
drawn
sibling.
by a person that definitely knows what a car looks like.
I do love the old sort of models of car where it was, you know, the car was just this sort of metal chassis and you just built a wooden frame around it however you wanted. And no one really had an idea of what was aerodynamic or whatever, so they just built whatever they wanted.
I love the, like, double doors.
Yeah.
To the seats.
Hey, there is only one seat and it's a double door.
It's one seat and it's double doors, I think. Because they open, like, inside out. It's not like with cars nowadays where it's like, you know, two sets of doors, but, you know, they open the same way.
Yeah.
And go to different seats. This is just a double door to a car.
One day I'll play
I mean,
Professor Layton.
I have seen cars sort of like that, but it's definitely not the standard.
Also, the number plate on like the sharpest on the point.
Yeah. So how do you fix that?
How does that even work?
And then this is what Luke and what Leighton and his assistant Luke look like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've seen young Leighton. Doesn't the young Leighton have like puffy hair?
Mm.
Yeah, look at that hair.
But yeah, I just realized I have no fucking clue about like what time Professor Layton is supposed to be set in. Mostly because I always thought it was like
Mystery
old.
time.
I'm not sure the game even knows.
It's whatever's good for the particular story is trying to be told. 'Cause I think the new game's all
Like,
about like
most
a
of it
steam
is...
town, right?
Yeah, there's like steampunky type thing, I guess, in some of the towns. But like, it's like, to me, yeah, there's sort of a story in there, but it's more of a what vehicle can we use to get to justify all of these puzzles? Because that's really what it is. It's a puzzle game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of logic puzzles stacked into a plot line. And while, like, some elements of the plot as you're going through, quote-unquote, solving the mystery, it's like, oh, we figured this thing out. Every single one that I've played, you get to the end and you're just kind of like, what? What?
What?
What?
Well, that's fun. I didn't know they had that as well.
And I'm now, granted, I haven't played every single Leighton game. I'd like to, but most of them are trapped on the DS or 3DS, and good luck getting some of those now.
Yep.
But the 3 that I did play, every single one of them, at no point did I have any idea where we were going with it. Because there is no way I could have predicted where they were going with this. Like, little bits and pieces, sure. It's like, okay, this person has been replaced with our quote-unquote evil nemesis who is known to put on disguises, and that's why they've been acting a little funny ever since this point in time. It turns out we actually got separated, so they're still back there, and the person who's been traveling with us since then is a fake. Fun. Predictable. And then it's like, and then actually we're in an underground copy of London, and you're like, wait, what?
London
what?
is just like that.
like underground, like you put a sky there even, and it's just like, what?
I mean, yeah, you never heard of
Excuse me?
London Underground? Pretty.
I have.
It's just
It was
a-
very loud.
Yeah, like the Overground. Funnily enough, actually, that wasn't the Underground; it was the Overground.
Oh well.
But it was still very loud. Yeah, we were when Jeeb came to visit. My plan was to understand all of the underground and overground rail lines going around London, so we could easily travel. And there was a station near where we were staying, and we got on one train from where we were staying to the centre of the city, and it was the loudest experience of my life. And Jeeb's head was right next to the window that was making all the noise. And we agreed from that point on, buses.
Oh no.
I mean, the buses were also just more convenient.
Yeah, they were. Turns out, buses in London, really good.
Yeah. Trains in London,
No,
not good.
not so much.
Or at least that particular one.
It was so loud. That is not normal. Like they're not quiet, but they are not normally that loud.
No, I've been on like metros before. I feel like I have a decent understanding of how loud they should be, even though I'm not as experienced with them as other like modes of transportation. But like, they're usually not that loud.
Well, I just looked, and apparently the games are supposed to be set in Great Britain, with Leighton being from London.
You can tell it's Britain because they're wearing a top hat.
Yes. And the boy looks like he'd sell you to
Yeah.
Strand.
Extra. It does explain why whenever I'm in like Barry Stream or whatever, people are making jokes about the Leighton games. They always put on that one that one faux British accent that all Americans know how to do. The Dick Van Dyke high pitched.
Yeah. Well, because if I remember correctly, the game is made by a Japanese company. So.
Ah, yes. The fabulous city of London, Japan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There are a lot of Londons. I think there's at least 2 in America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
that's also partially because a bunch of people from over there moved over here, and then what are we going to call it? Well, the same name as where we were, just with a new in front of it, if we're even going to bother.
Yeah, it's the if we're even going to bother crowd that I don't understand. You want to call it New London, you go right ahead. Calling it London again.
Mm-hmm.
That's the weird one. Well, to be fair, the name London again would actually work quite well. But
London again.
where do you live? London again.
What do you mean London again?
Well, I used to
Well,
live
it's
in
London again.
Now I live in London again. What is there not to know? It would
And
be
then
confusing.
probably
people.
gets shortened over time, and eventually you
London.
London. Yeah, probably. Good old London.
Good old London.
So let's see. We've got over here. We've got New Jersey and New York and New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, as a whole, that whole north side of the East Coast is sort of collectively called New England.
Hmm? Even old New York was once New Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Making tea.
It
Who
was.
wants tea? Bez making tea.
I like some tea. Nice so warm. It's cold.
Oh yeah, you got New
But-
South Wales. There's a Mitchell and Webb sketch about that. walking along the sunlit coasts of Australia going, do you know where this reminds me of? Wales.
Yeah, just South Wales.
Yeah, not North Wales. No.
Because Wales is so big, you know?
South Wales.
Maybe whoever named the place just had someone on the north side of Wales where they're just kind of like, this is my nemesis.
I know what's a Tumblr post recently about a place in America and believe Scotland and in Australia just kind of like teaming up in marketing because they were named like
Yes.
boring, dull, and something else.
Yeah, what was the other one? Boring, dull.
Boring, dull, and bland. The Shire of Bland.
No, yeah, bland, far from dull and boring.
Yeah.
That was it. It's so good.
I love that so much. Just people having fun with names.
Yeah.
Even when the names are bland, dull, and boring.
Especially when they're bland, dull, and boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Place names are always
Yeah.
real interesting, especially since, like,
Not that.
a lot of newer cities, the name gets chosen on purpose, but sometimes it's just sort of like that's what people called it for convenience, and then it just stuck when it became bigger. So, like, there's a city in Oklahoma called Moore. And it's called Moore because basically what happened is before there was an actual city there, it's like, okay, we need a postal code here because there are people here. What are we going to call it? Well, they ended up calling it Moore, not because anyone decided that's a good name for the city, but because someone who had lived there because, like, this is before post boxes were really a thing, because, like, your neighbor is a good 5 miles away. They apparently had, like, an old rail cart or something and had just painted their last name on the side of it to make it obvious who lived there. And so that's just what the place was called. This is Moore.
Yeah, what better reason do you need?
Also, you end up with silly things like places that have the same name. So Las Vegas is not the only Las Vegas in the United States. It's not even the oldest Las Vegas. There's another Las Vegas in New Mexico that was around before the Las Vegas in Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Also, there's at least 2 cities that are both called Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Is
I think that's
Santa Fe...
just so interesting about America, is that there's so many different cities with the same name, which is obviously like a result of colonization and everything, but like still so interesting that it all stuck.
Yeah, and like some of
rapid
them,
expansion.
it's like mildly sensible, I guess, in a sense. Like, okay, a whole bunch of cities wanted to name a place after the first U.S. president. Fine. There's a Washington in, I think, pretty much every single state in the United States. I'm not quite sure why a bunch of people were like, we want to call our town Santa Fe. or why two different places, but we're calling it Las Vegas.
Mm. Yeah. This is just really interesting.
I concur.
I mean, it's also just because America is at such a different scale than, you know, a single country over here.
Yeah.
I say that especially as someone from the Netherlands, where it's just like, yeah. We're tiny.
No, you're not. You're huge. I bet you're in person.
People big, country small.
Yeah. Well, that just makes the country feel small because you're so big.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, and we have had like a big impact. Because, you know, surprise, the English weren't the only colonizers.
Gasp, shock.
Gasp, shock, I know.
I thought it was.
Dun dun dun!
I thought the fact that Afrikaans was very similar to Dutch was just convergent evolution. Just coincidence. It's amazing when your traders first landed there. It's like, oh, we can already understand you. Brilliant.
Yeah. I know, right?
And it would make things more convenient, but turns out the world doesn't work on Stargate logic.
Oh, I thought everywhere was pine forests.
Everything suspiciously looks like Canada. Don't worry about it. I mean, that's fine. It's a fictional story, TV show. You gotta there are physical limitations and then also practical limitations for we want the people watching this to have some semblance of an idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
So like even if we say had the actors all speaking a foreign language, or if we somehow had folks on hand to create a foreign language, if everyone here is talking in a language that the audience doesn't understand, it makes it a little hard. Now, sometimes that's the point, but like if it's all the time, then it's like,
Yeah. I can think of at least one episode of that show that hinges on the fact that people don't understand what anyone's saying.
Yes.
Oh, poor Toby. Stuck in the London
Yeah.
metro.
I can't always take a taxi.
Unfortunate.
There's a reason October wears headphones.
Hell yeah.
Sometimes noises be not good.
I understand you, Toby. Need to fucking buy a new MP3 player, because mine's on its way out.
Oh no.
Amy sucks. Went out for a walk without, like, earphones in, and I was just like, no, I don't like this.
I often, when I'm out and about for a walk, I just wear headphones without anything playing. Just makes everything quiet. It's nice.
Yeah, it was just like every time a person got near, I was like not having any of it.
Oh.
And also, I was walking faster than usual,
Oh. Top tip
which
if you're in a hurry.
wasn't great.
Just have the very unpleasant experience of turning off your music.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so I guess I have to buy a new one.
Mm.
But hey, and it lasts for like a good, like, almost 10 years, I believe, so not too shabby.
Nice. Last time I checked, the iPod Nano that I had in high school still works.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
I mean, like, 10 years with very extensive use.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference between it's been sitting in a closet versus I'm actively using it.
Yeah.
Yeah, best still work.
Like, if I hadn't been using it as much, I would be mad, but, you know. Used it a lot. Survived an entire trip to London.
If I can survive that, I can survive anything.
I know, right?
Yeah, cassette
That player from
players.
childhood still works too. Good. Can only be happy about that. Oh, I did mean to throw in the chat today in Discord to see if anyone wants to meet up this year.
Yay.
Just as a general, hey. Time, it goes.
It does. To be fair, our Netherlands trip took a long while to work out because
Yeah, exactly.
I kept putting it off. It was originally just the two of us, and I kept putting it off because money.
And now it was more of us, and we also had to wait a bit because everyone was like, I believe it was in March that everyone had to like ask for
Oh yeah, we finally
leave.
we finally settled on time, and we're like, hey everybody, if you want to come along, this is when we're gonna do it. And then everyone went, can't do that.
Yeah, basically.
Terrible for retail workers. It's
Yeah.
like, wow. What about that?
Yeah, and it's not like I have anything like in mind or anything. It's just a more of like a general like, is something gonna happen this year?
Yeah.
he's sitting next to a squid.
Yeah, I wanted background
Octopus
characters.
thing.
Sitting next to Octodad.
I mean, he could exist here.
Chris, with that one little stitch across on October's face, it does look like you've given them like a tiny little anime nose.
Like a little.
Yeah. Looks really weird. I don't like it. It's not supposed to have those.
The first I get complaints that they don't have a nose, and now I get complaints that they do have a nose. Honest.
Hey, those complaints only come from Dark.
True.
And even then, I'm pretty sure the complaints are less based off of aesthetics and more on the, but there are so many good things to smell.
I mean, from Dark, it's also more just like, how does this work? Dark loves knowing how things work.
How does
Like,
anosmia
physically.
work in the real world? Like, there are people who can't smell.
Yeah?
True, but generally they still have noses.
Yeah?
Tell that to... Gosh, I wish I could remember his name. Tycho Brahe? Tycho Brahe, he had like a brass
Sheep
nose.
did say... Sheep did say generally.
Yeah. But I just happened to know that there was somebody in history who had a brass nose, and I just wanted to bring that up. I don't think it was Tycho Brahe. Who was it? Oh, no, yep. I went to the Wikipedia article and searched for nose, and there is a subheading, Tycho's nose.
I literally just looked up brass nose on DuckDuckGo, and that's the first thing that came up. Danish astronomer and alchemist.
Well, this is his own fault. At an engagement party, he had drunkenly quarrelled with someone over who was a better mathematician, and they resolved their feud with a duel in the dark. It's like, well, that's your... What, no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah, that's very much a this is a you problem. Like, it'd be one thing if it was like birth defect or something, like there's no outside nose or there's like no nasal cavity, because like it, but biology is stupid enough that I could see that happening easily.
Yeah.
But if it's a you lost your nose because you got in a fight over math, that's like multiple levels of stupid here.
Well, it's not uncommon. What was it, Galwa? He died in a duel, didn't he?
Over math?
Might have been philosophy or politics or something. Maths is...
And it's not even like over an element of math. It's just dick waving of who's better at it.
Okay, Galwa's duel might have had something to do with the love affair. Classic. Anyway, there was a mathematician called Galwa. He basically revolutionized algebra and died at the age of 21 in a duel.
Good for him.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. How terrible.
How sad.
How sad. He did algebra and then he died.
He answered.
Algebra killed this man.
Algebra is deadly. Don't do algebra, kids. No, or results derived from his work, I should probably say. Eventually solved the ancient Greek problem of for various like geometric things like squaring circles and trisecting angles with a straight edge and compass and stuff like that, proving that it's impossible. It took algebra to do that. It took until algebra to prove geometry. Isn't that fun?
I mean,
Sure.
doesn't surprise me. It took infinitesimals before we could go, hey, wait a minute, these two problems are the same problem, just backwards.
Yeah.
And then we get calculus, yay!
Calculus. Everyone's favourite.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For those in the audience who don't know, infinitesimals is basically the reverse of infinity. Infinity being the idea of this is something that's getting very, very large in absolute value to the point that we can't conceive how large it is. And infinitesimals is this is something that's getting very, very small in absolute value to the point of we can't conceive of how small it is.
Getting real small. How small? Smaller than small. You name a number, is smaller. That's literally the definition.
Yeah, as long as the number isn't literally 0, there will be a value with an absolute value that is smaller than any number that you're thinking of.
The real numbers are weird. I mean, to be fair, that's true of the algebraic numbers as well. Regardless. Actually, that's true of the rational numbers.
I mean, all numbers are weird and may or may not exist, so, you know.
Nah, they're made up. Human brain-like pattern. Give pattern name. Call it 5.
I mean, the name being made up, I will completely agree with. But just because the name is arbitrary doesn't mean the thing that has been named doesn't exist.
It exists. We just invented it. See, now you're getting into philosophy. Last time we talked about math, you had an argument with my calculator. So
Let's not get into philosophy. Just in general. Really.
yeah, I was going to say
we know how she feels about philosophers.
It's not like, you know, let's not touch upon the subject of philosophy. Let's just not get into philosophy. No one should get into philosophy. Don't get interested in philosophy.
She will go out and just take out
I can get
knees.
interested in philosophy, just don't do it in my vicinity.
She will take all philosophers out at the knees.
Is philosophobia a thing? Should be.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but if that's what it's called, I don't know. Because there's all kinds of phobias out there that have got all sorts of weird names.
Or Bear's reference, because I don't think Bear was there when that happened. I took one philosophy class during my studies, and it was fine, but also it sucked. Reading about it, fine. Having to, like, endlessly debate with my peers about why something is happening when you could also just solve it in 2 minutes with like a practical explanation was torture.
There's
Oh, hang on.
actually a webcomic out there where one of the things was like the reasons why physicists aren't invited to philosophy conferences.
Reading about
Let me
it,
see if I can find it.
studying up on it, that's all good. Just don't put me in a room with a group of 20-year-olds debating the
Well, I
fucking
mean, I feel like
nature of
that was your first
humanity.
problem, is being in a room of 20-year-olds trying to debate something.
Exactly. I don't think
Like,
that should be allowed, but there we were.
That's just going to be precarious as it is. And Cresp, it turns out Philosophobia is a thing, and that is what it is called.
But yeah, it was just so exhausting and it left me wanting to like just kick everyone. Like, damn, I get there's practical applications to this, and it's good to learn the philosophy of certain things, and ethics, especially ethics. But God, never debate me on these things. Any duels? Not really duels. It was more just like an open discussion, or like the class got split into it, like, you know, your like, you know, debates. But I mean, just in general, I'm already not like a big like public speaker. I don't like speaking in front of the class, or just like that kind of stuff. But when people start like just saying nothing, it gets so much worse.
Can I make you feel better about philosophy?
I know. Can you?
And so I know how much you like the trolley problem.
Yeah.
Can I show you my favorite version of the trolley problem?
Yeah, sure, go for it. Yes, thank you.
Beautiful.
Absolutely perfect. No notes. That should be the end all be all of philosophy, honestly. That's not related to the village.
Sorry, we're also
No,
having a
it is.
conversation in Discord about everyone not feeling very well and hoping that they're good, and then I post that. Just specified, not related. I do not hope you get hit by a tram. That is not. Meep meep.
Okay, well, I found the name of the comic. Now I need to find the comic.
The cow.
So there's a webcomic called Saturday Morning Breakfast Cereal that had the thing I was talking about. Now I'm trying to find the particular comic. Oh, these are all just labeled by dates. Heck. Well, at least I have the name of the thing. That'll maybe narrow it down a bit.
We're having fun here on the Crispy Parsnips channel. Not on stream, but...
Yeah. None of this is being broadcast.
I mean, once I find the comic, I can show it to you guys. I just need to find it first.
No, that's fine. I'm mostly speaking about everything happening in Discord.
Everyone's bullying me.
No. No bullying is happening.
I mean, no one believes that.
What?
Always being bullied. It's just taking a particular form.
No, you're not being bullied. I've never bullied anyone. Therefore, no bullying is occurring.
Okay, we can add gaslighting to the list. Ew. Music stuttered there for some reason.
Okay. I found the comic.
You found the comic. Oh, that's a long one. That's an open in browser. That's a good.
Yeah, I've seen that one before. Still like it. And yeah, that's basically how I felt during the fucking philosophy course. During intro to philosophy. Just like I was willing to go along for a bit, and then after a while it just became this.
I mean, you could maybe have a talk about how do you determine who's the clone from someone who doesn't know who didn't have prior knowledge of which one was the clone. But, like, to a certain extent, it's like, who cares?
Yeah, they're the same. Like, if they're true clones, they're the same. And it doesn't really matter, except now there's two.
Yeah, I'm much more interested in the practical applications of this, which is if somebody cloned me, would I get on with myself? Who knows?
Oh, that's getting into a lot of things about self-image that I'm not sure I enjoy.
That's fair. I was just thinking more along the lines of, like, looking at myself and going, why are you doing that? I don't do that. Yes, you do. I'm you. It's like, no.
That's the more funny version of this. My brain immediately went to horde dysphoria town.
Oh, no. I was just considering how I keep, being messy
you're a
without
cartoon
thinking.
character, you don't...
Yeah. I don't have dysphoria. I can just change my outline whenever I fancy.
Exactly.
I can, put a thumb in my mouth, blow, and suddenly I'm inflated into big chungus.
Perfect. The real question is, if there's two of you, would you get more done?
That's the thing. Like, would it be a spiral of distractions, or would it be a spiral of, you know, oh, you lazy get on with it. Only if you get on with yours, fine. And then just out of spite.
Out of spite towards yourself. You're like, fine, I'll get on with it. Don't you have that commission to work on?
Yeah. We're not
Or
splitting
would
the
it
Patreon
just
money
be
though.
like having July around?
Yeah.
Just, ooh, look at this. Shiny.
What if you do this week you do the work and I'll do the distractions? You did the distractions last week.
God, sounds like the worst combination of just like the worst sibling relationship there, just with yourself.
Yeah, basically.
We must ask Twin.
Yeah.
Get a close approximation. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway,
we did a stream.
it's the stream. Have we finished the stream? We may have finished the stream.
I think so.
I think we finished yet.
I don't have any drawing juice anymore. I did one mug.
I'm frankly amazed I'm still awake, so that's all good.
Yeah.
I attribute that all to you guys, and I appreciate
Hell
it.
yeah. Same.
I will say though, Chris, because of where you drew them and how you drew them, it does look like Clover and Moira are just
Yeah.
in the same.
Moira's on the other side of the fucking courtroom.
Also, Globe's a lot bigger than I thought.
That's really forced perspective.
Oh, right, Clover's just really close. That Lord of the Rings camera shenanigans. I love watching the behind-the-scenes practical Lord of the Rings perspective things where they have like the tables in two halves, and like there's a small half and a big half, and when you put the camera there and move the camera, it looks like it's panning across a normal table, but Frodo's tiny. Everyone look that stuff up. I love that. I still haven't actually seen any of those films in full, but I've watched the behind the scenes.
I mean,
The original Lord of the Rings trilogy
lovely.
is just brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant.
So what was that, Jeep?
The behind the scenes are just lovely.
Yeah. Speaking of behind the scenes, that's where we're going to go now. Swoosh.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scene.
Inner
We're in.
workings of Crispus parsnips.
But you don't want to see that. It's a mess. Absolute mess. But yeah, thank you for doodling and chit chats. Always lovely.
Yeah.
Appreciate it heavily, heftily, fully, highly,
Heftily.
heftily. I appreciate it heftily.
Okay.
It is a real
Very
heavy appreciation.
Has so much
Cumbersome.
weight to it.
It's a cumbersome appreciation I have for you guys. Real burden, no. I lost my trail of thought. No, you guys are great. Love you all. The stream will be back Tuesday. We will doodle something. Maybe I'll work more on the Saltod picture. Maybe I will make a Ori and the Will of the Wisps parsnip, because that's Tuesday evening.
You might want to get on that.
Might want to get on that. Possible. I will forget, but I might want to get.
I mean,
It's
unless
fine.
there's one floating around from the first time you did it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it's too far back. I wasn't making parsnips then. Not for streams anyway.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I can always just put a generic gaming one in there. I've been using the War Tales one for group game streams for about a year now, so I don't think people mind.
No.
But yeah, I remembered the other day we have the facts in this carousel at the beginning of streams. I haven't added any of those for about a year either. Very
New fact.
new facts. Got to go back and work out some new facts. That's as opposed to the facts and the facts.
As opposed to the facts and the facts and
As
the
opposed to the facts
yeah.
and the facts, yes. There's the exclamation mark fact, there's the channel point fact, and then there's the crispy fact. 3 different types of fact on stream. There's a fact. Okay, fact.
There's a fact.
Hang on, the book is under some stuff. Well, that's near the end. Well, this is one of those fun cultivar things. All strawberries today derive from 5 plants brought to France from Chile in 1712.
That's impressive and also scary.
Yeah.
It's true of many, many fruit plants that we
But,
we
like,
grow.
I'm
also,
sure,
it sort
but
of makes
also
sense based off of what I know about how strawberries propagate, because you don't really, like, plant a strawberry seed and have more strawberries.
Although now I'm imagining a small plant pot with just a single strawberry growing in it. But ye, things
Thanks.
and stuff. And etc.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, everyone. Look after yourselves, sleep well, rest up there when you finish your commission, rest up.
Rest.
Rest.
You must.
You must. Yeah. Much love to you, and to Jeep and to
Much love.
and probably to myself, I guess, possibly. Have a good. Bye.
Have a good. Bye.
Bye.